Boom. Are we live? I think so. Yes, we are. Wow, man, it's been like so fucking long that I've been away from the live streaming. Oh my god. Oh my god. So, I invited everyone to the party, but nobody came. Yesterday I had my first subscriber, Albanian American, Frank C. Welcome to the family, bro. Chaban, see, I am here. So, I did a post, right? I did a post and I'm going live this Saturday at 11. It is 11:23. Michael Jordan. At 11 a.m. Athens, Greece time. I should have written, but it was like on ChatGPT. Alexandria, Greece time. Here's when it starts in your city: London 9 a.m., New York 4 a.m., Los Angeles 1 a.m., India 1:30 p.m., Tokyo. Shout out to Tokyo. 5 p.m. Sydney 6 p.m. Oh, so. How is everybody doing? What's up with all of you? We hit the mark 140 subscribers. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate it. It is an achievement at the end of the day. It took me 2 years. 2 freaking years to hit 140 subscribers. Let's go. The best streamer in the world, the best singer in the world, the best producer in the world, the best actor in the world. It always goes with 3. Come on, let's be honest. Who is better than me on streaming? Nobody. But people have fame and I don't, and I am talking to myself, and there is no interaction, and I'm waiting for people to come by, to pass by, to say hi, but I think that nobody will come, and maybe I'm gonna start talking to myself. Therapy session number 1. Therapy session. How are you, ladies and gentlemen, doing with therapy? Are you going to therapy? Are you doing self-therapy, auto-psychoanalysis? Because I am doing a lot of time, and I used to do that especially years ago, in my early 20s. I started doing auto-psychoanalysis. Sometimes it is called shadow work. And to tell you the truth, it's not that I found it that it was a waste of time, but I think that it was in a way like too much of an overthinking kind of thing, too much of let's analyze it, but let's overanalyze everything to the point that it drives you crazy. And I think that's what therapy does to people. Instead of helping them to heal their wounds and their traumas and all that stuff, I think that what in a way they do to them is that it makes them, in a way, it makes it even more hard for them to heal it. You know what I mean? Like it's like you go there, right, and you talk about your problems, okay, or like you talk about your traumas, and you kind of try to confront the pain in a way, and at the same time to kind of empathize, your pain, to empathize yourself in a way, right? But if you get all your attention to the past, to the pain, to the trauma, to that to those painful moments of your life, then you get all your energy into pain, into. But if you take all your attention and all your focus and everything, because you are not what happened to you, you are who you choose to become, as my great grandpa Jung said. You are who you choose to become, right? If you take all that attention, all that focus, and you place it into the present moment, and you place it also to the flow of life, if you are one with your life, because you are not your traumas, you are a soul being, an eternal soul being. And if you realize, if somebody helps you realize that, and once you realize that you are an eternal soul, that you have been here on earth again and again, and you are a sparkle like this, you are you know what I mean? You are not your body, you are not whatever, you are just a spark, puff, like that, just a tiny drop, a tiny drop in the whole universe. And you can do whatever you want, you can be whoever you want to be, just like that. You are not your traumas, you are not all the bad stuff that happened to you. And one thing that I would say, like, to an advice that I would give to myself, to my past self, or like to somebody who is going like through tough times, I believe that there will always be challenging moments in your life, right? The challenging moments will never stop, right? Because that's what life is. Life is challenging you. Wait. I got this cappuccino Starbucks, but it's like a milkshake, chilled coffee. So the challenging moments will always be there in your life, right? Now, one thing that you have to do is that you have to toughen up yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be a little bit more tough, but tough in a natural way, not in a forced way, not in a way that you don't have empathy for yourself. But you know what I mean? Like, okay, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna kick me down. You know that song? Exactly that. Exactly that. I get knocked out, but I get up again. You're never gonna get me down. I get knocked out, but I get up again. You're never gonna get me down. So you have to cultivate that. And also, you have, well, the advice. So that's the one thing, that challenges will never disappear from life, and you have to cultivate being tough with yourself, being tough, while having empathy with yourself, right? You get knocked down, but you get up again. That's the first advice. The second advice would be to go with the flow. Go with the flow. Don't say to yourself, you know what I mean? Oh man, like I failed, for example, right? I failed here. Fuck. And you go like somewhere, and life takes you like somewhere else, you know? Or takes you back. Or takes you like to somewhere in a place that you have never imagined, right? Don't say like, oh man, I'm a failure. Why the fuck did I do that? I had to be there, you know what I mean? But now I'm here. And wow, I'm such a loser. I'm such a failure. I'm such a, you start like to get that I failed, type of mindset. Bad. Now here's the trick. Sometimes, right? Sometimes God will take you to a place that you maybe didn't want, right? Because there is something there that will 10x your success. And when you go to that place, or you go to that whatever, if you are young, you know what I mean, like to that school, if you are whatever, to that job, if you are, to wherever you go, and God sends you to a place or a situation that you don't like, right? Stop doing that. Stop having that failed attitude, you know what I mean? Instead, live, grasp, be abundant, and get that blessing from God, because it is a blessing in disguise, and you cannot realize, right? Let's say you go to a place, God sends you to a place that you never liked. You are like, what the fuck, man, I don't like this place. No, don't say that. Be like, okay, I'm here right now. Maybe I didn't want that, right? But I'm here. What kind of situations can I have right here? What kind of life can I make out of this? What's that thing that I can make out of this? You know what I mean? And live a beautiful life, live beautiful moments, right? Up until I go to where I want to go, right? And sometimes even where you wanna go, right? You might go there and you might realize, and that was like one of my kind of baddest nightmares. You might realize that, oh, it wasn't that much big of a deal, right? It is the exact same thing like this other thing right here, but with different levels, so to speak, right? And I should have in a way helped myself to realize that I should live in the moment and experience life, experience life in every moment. You know what I mean? Life doesn't happen just in a certain bracket of life doesn't happen only for millionaires or for billionaires. Even if you are poor, man, even if you struggle financially, you have to at least appreciate where you are, because things might have been like things might have turned out for you way worse than you think, way worse. even way worse than you would have think. Seriously, man. Sometimes I say to myself, you know what? I've been like through a lot in my life, especially mentally. It's not that I've been like through a lot, meaning like it was more of a mental thing, you know what I mean? Like a lot here, man, a lot here. So, a lot of pain, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. Um, Recently, a lot of anger, and I always like try to meditate to calm. But I had these past 2 days a moment of realization that things things could have been way worse, man, way worse. And I'm thankful to God. Seriously, I am thankful to God that they weren't. You know what I mean? Um, and I'm trying to be grateful for everything. That's why a lot of a lot of you might be like, "What the fuck? This guy is celebrating 140 subscribers." Or like the other day on the vlog streams, I was like, "Yes, plus 138." But yeah, man, because things they can be like way worse, and you might be like, "Oh, why this thing is not happening for me the way that I want it to happen, and why it is so slow, and why everything is happening to me." And you know, because I believe that everyone, especially after my generation, we have a self of entitlement. It's like in the Fight Club. You know, when I would watch Fight Club at my early 20s, I would be like, when Tyler Durden said that we we grew up watching TV stars, movie stars, and singers, whatever, superstars all around the world, and television made us believe that one day we are going to be like them, and suddenly we realize that we won't, and we are very pissed. You know, like I paraphrase it, and we are very pissed off. And it's not that I won't be. I'm gonna be superstar. I know that, but I also know that I might have to fight a little bit longer, man, and maybe a little bit harder. You know what I mean? And it is only God knows. Whatever God wants, you know what I mean? Sometimes you go like with your ego, and I'm starting to realize it, man, because I wasn't trusting God. I was like, that's why I had a lot of anxiety, you know, like anxiety. I think that comes from the fact that people, they don't have like faith, regardless of religion. I do not talk about religion, I talk about God. um, People, they do not have a faith in God, you know what I mean, like um, and I don't blame them, like I don't blame the past versions of me, because society is built in a way that um, that it takes the spiritualism out of out of the human being. So humans, they are not spiritual anymore. They might be religious, but they are not spiritual. And in my opinion, in order to be one with God, you have to be spiritual, and to start and to start trusting God, and to stop looking at your ego. And I believe that we are taught from a very very young age, through society and through our parents and through everyone, right? Um, to act with an ego, to act with our ego, to act with our sense of entitlement, because sometimes, right, you might fail at something, right? So boom, your parents, why you failed, why you did that, oh, you didn't excel at school, right? Or like society will be like, oh, what happened like to this person, oh, he failed, right? Oh, he became this, right? So unconsciously from a young age, or like our parents, like when you when we are uh, very young at school, right? Oh, my kid, like has the best grades and all that stuff. That not everybody will have the best grades, right? And not everyone is meant to have the best grades, but um, so it is instilled upon us from a very young age to always have that uh, if things don't go our way, that we have set, like some standards for ourselves, or other people have made sure to set the standards for us. And if those standards are not met, then it means that we failed. And if we failed, we we are not worthy. But that is a total ego thing, because uh, if you want to go to a place, right, as I said, you want to go to a place and you are like, I want to go right here, right now, and I want to like succeed, that I want to succeed there, right? But if you do not achieve that, and you achieve something else, right, as I said in the beginning, you feel and you think subconsciously, because you are programmed in that way, that you failed. But in actuality, you won, because that's what God has for you. God has another plan for you. God has something else for you. Something way, 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 way better. Maybe on paper, something maybe on paper, I was checking like uh, my volume. Maybe on paper it doesn't look as good as that standard that it has been set for you, but God's paper, that's what you have to trust. In God's eyes, it is a metaphor. It looks better, it sounds better, and it is better. And that's what you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, that sometimes things don't go our way because it is not the way. Just because your ego says that it is the way, that's the only way, it doesn't mean that that's the way and that's the only way. Always trust God. A lot of meditation, a lot of cultivation. We cultivate our minds, and at the same time we cultivate our hearts. Because without a heart, you are not a human being, you are a robot. People nowadays, they are afraid of breaking their hearts, and they stop getting in touch with their feelings. They detach with their feelings. But if you detach with your feelings, then what does that make you? Does that make you human? Or does that make you AI? And a stupid form of AI, right? You become a machine. "25 minutes of preaching." Come on, tell me now, who in the music industry says what I say? Have you ever listened to someone like in their interviews to talk like I do? No. Exactly. Who streamer, famous streamer, YouTube, Twitch, does a 25-minute preaching like I do? Nobody. Exactly. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. That's why. God. Because God put me in places in order for me to expand my consciousness so that I can bring light to you. It's like that song that I wrote, Jack Nicholson. Listen to the song Jack Nicholson, one of my favorite songs that I have ever written. I bring you light, no more fight with who I am, with what I like. What you doing, son? I've buried over 2,000 women in my life. You've lost yourself. You've lost yourself in a box. Motherfucker, you a hoax. Here is Ronaldo. And that "Here is Ronaldo" comes from the famous "Here is Johnny" in the Kubrick movie with Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. I saw Jack on my last LSD trip. That's why I made the song Jack Nicholson. And then I said, oh man, like, why Jack Nicholson appeared like in my trip? Because he's a cool actor, he's a great actor, he has style, he has personality. That's why he appeared. And I believe that his best roles came when he was like older, and maybe it was like my subconscious telling me that you might don't worry about like being like not being early like in Hollywood and being late. You will do some great roles like Jack. And yeah, this was it. I think it was a beautiful walking, running, whatever. This is the first segment. It was a little bit tough, a little bit serious. I feel like media in ancient Greece. I'm preaching right now. Let's go. So, what do we have like today? Who is a fan of UFC? Man, I feel that I will be the ISO speed of UFC. Seriously, who should I glaze? Who should be my CR7? Jon Jones. Jon Jones. Right now, one of the best fights. Jon Jones retired, right? I don't know, man. I think that he will be back No, no. Shout out to John. Seriously. Um, tonight, I don't know. It will be like Topuria vs Ilya Topuria. Let's go. Vs Charles Oliveira. I like Charles a lot. I love his jiu-jitsu. I love, like, he's the best. His his striking is very weak though, but I'm not like everybody else who says like, oh, it's like it will be like Ilya easy and all that stuff. I feel that there will be a fight, but I think that uh, that Charles will go for the jiu-jitsu, will go for the takedowns, will go for the submission, because in the striking he knows, and I believe that his team also know that it will be like total domination by Ilya. So I believe that their strategy is like get over him, take the takedown, become a snake, and submit him, right? And get that kind of like a submission, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he did it, oh my god, and poop. But I also think that, and as far as I'm concerned, Ilya hasn't shown his wrestling game, never, because like he's such like a dominant striker, especially like his boxing is like out of this world. Best boxer ever, like in UFC. But I also think that his wrestling is good, right? And I always like believe the wrestlers. I don't know why, but I always like have a belief for the wrestlers in the game, you know. But it is an incredible fight to watch, because both of them, they have like very beautiful styles, unique styles, and if I had like to bet on somebody, it would be like Ilya. Yeah, man, like it will be like Ilya Topuria. I don't know, like I don't know how, or like that first round to maybe it goes like to the points, maybe it goes like to a submission, maybe it goes like to a knockout, maybe like when on that ground, maybe if they go to the ground, maybe Topuria goes like for the submission like Makhachev did. You never know, man. You never know how things unfold, and I believe that both of them, they don't know how it, they don't have like a certain, like oh, I go, I strike, and I KO, or like I go, I take down and submit, like I don't think that they have like just one thing, you know what I mean, like, and they also like round after round, like the teams also, they say, you know what I mean, like they say that they evaluate whatever like is happening, and they readjust, and they come up with strategies and all that stuff. So that's why fighting is so fucking beautiful, man. That's why it's so fucking beautiful, and it's not a thing that it comes up to 11 people, like football, you know what I mean, like fighting is just one. It's like, it's in a way it's like chess, you know what I mean, like that's the beauty of it. It is chess, but with with your hands and your body and your legs and all that, and your chin at the same time. So yeah, man, Ilya. uh, I've lost a couple of followers on IG. I had 240. I lost 6 followers. And 3 of them, their name was Ben. Incredible, right? Incredible synchronicity. I don't know what kind of synchronicity it was. Oakley. Look at my Oakleys. Huge fan of Oakleys, man. What a great brand, right? Brand of sunglasses. Boom. Ooh. Instantly you become cool. Because I'm watching right now a post about Oakleys. Haha. Dennis Rodman. Michael Jordan, right? Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt, basically. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I kind of said it to myself. I said it to myself that nobody will come to the party, and I knew it. But yeah, wasn't that stream? How do you feel after that stream? Good, great. You felt that your mind expanded instead of like shrinking. Exactly, man. Exactly. That's why I know that God has like something good for me, because I know that I can heal people, and I can teach people, I can guide people. So, but it's up to God. It is up to God to decide when and how. So, ladies and gentlemen, without I'm bouncing. Without any further ado, thank you all for not being here. Peace.